Welcome to Parish and Community. My guest today is Tess Sanders, who is soon to leave us as outreach coordinator in our ID and birth certificate program and social outreach. Tess, thank you for being here, but why are you leaving us?
It's a 2-year position. Just this morning, I met Marvin, I think again, who's a person who does construction, and he was like, there are a lot of you, and I was like, yeah, and I'm actually leaving in a month, and he's like, oh, okay, so 2 years. It's a ministry for a reason and a season. So
yeah,
alas.
Sure. Alas, but we've certainly enjoyed having you here. Tell us about what your role has entailed and some of the challenges and joys involved in it.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those not familiar, we operate here at St. Francis Xavier. It used to be twice a week. Now it's a weekly ministry. Tuesdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. is going to be our new time. And what do? We work with people who need Missouri state IDs or birth certificates from anywhere to get that ID. So the role has entailed finding volunteers, managing volunteer schedules, and also working with the guests who we see, and then processing their applications every week and maintaining our accounts at City Hall with basically the debit account for the birth certificates and writing checks, chasing down Father Matt and Father Dan to sign the checks, and paying attention to everything that needs to happen to make that program run every week on Tuesdays.
How did you get involved?
I applied at the time. I was finishing up a year of service, and it was through the Vincentian Mission Corps. And so my supervisor, our director, Christine Dragonette, had also participated in that service year. And so the woman who leads that program emailed out the application. I hadn't been considering, I should say, the outreach coordinator, which is what I've been serving as. That person is enrolled at SLU's Master Social Work program, either part-time or full-time. So it's a dual role, and they're always going to be together. And that's on purpose and reflects really the wisdom of the outreach team. And I applied at SLU as a student and simultaneously applied for this job.
Okay.
I don't know if that's like too much boring detail, extraneous detail, not enough. I wasn't going to apply for school. I applied to school because of this position. Let me put it like that.
Okay.
I was not looking at master's programs.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. So have there been surprises to the work? I'm sure there have been things that were unexpected, but what has it been like for you?
So many things. I'm aware that this is a 30-minute conversation. It's been, I will speak to what it's been very lately, like in the last week or 2 weeks. It's been an opportunity to practice what I preach, to kind of combine my politics and my ideologies and philosophies with the work, with guests and also with volunteers. It's been a learning curve with COVID, and it's been a tremendous 2 years within a really supportive staff environment and culture. And I know you can attest to it too, Angela. Sure. Like, I would think, I don't know, like it's a really great team. It's an awesome team. Also meeting students has been amazing, meeting parishioners. I just feel really a part of instead of apart from being here in this role. And it has, it's challenged me, and it's made me become more resilient in a lot of ways, I think. I've realized my attention to detail is not so hot right off the bat, and that these applications require, because of the bureaucratic processes in place, so much attention to detail. And I have learned to double check and triple check applications before they leave my hands, and then know that they're not in my hands anymore.
Did you know some of the intricacies of the process of obtaining birth certificates and IDs before you were involved in this?
No. And in fact, I still don't have a Missouri state ID. I still have my New York ID, and it's going to expire finally this October. And so I'm like, oh, I'm good for it now. But no, I had no idea.
Yeah, you're one of the ones that has been able to articulate well, I think, some of the catch-22 of some of the applications that go through.
For sure. And, you know, Christine does just a swell job coordinating our coalition, this Missouri ID Access Coalition, and Katie as well. This is a group with community partners in St. Louis who are saying to the state, right, to the Department of Revenue, to whom it may concern at Jefferson City, like these are loops that make it functionally impossible for someone to get their identification, which is what your many places require to get moving along in life. And so it holds folks up in a tremendous way. And I think, thank you for saying, you know, I can articulate it. I think the more of us who articulate it kind of plainly and recognize the by design nature of this disenfranchisement, the more likely we are to disrupt it.
Right. So tell me, you mentioned the Vincentian Volunteer Corps. How did you first get involved with them?
Well, higher power was leading me even then, or then, always, I guess. I was not raised Catholic, and I was staying at the time that I learned about the program. I'd been living in Brooklyn for 6 years, and I was subletting my place in Ditmas Park at the time, and had to leave. This is the truncated long version.
Got it.
I had to leave an ashram in the Bahamas early, a yoga ashram, because of this neck injury I had incurred. And which really is just like, I was way too anxious to be at that ashram at that time in my life, friends. And I didn't know where to go exactly because I had this subletter in my place. And so I ended up staying with my parents in Charlotte, North Carolina. And at that time, over those 8 weeks, I started going to churches in their community in downtown Charlotte. And I ran into a Catholic mass, and I encountered one of those daily readers, Give Us This Day. And I found an essay that was penned by, they have those essays at the beginning, and I was reading it religiously. And I found this essay by Louise de Marillac, who is the founder or the foundress of the Daughters of Charity. And I, through just a happy Google chain of events, I found the Vincentian Mission Corps. And at the time I was just shy of 30 or 28 or 29. And I thought, oh, this is, you know, until I'm 30, I can do this. I'm going to do this. And I applied. I'd never been to Missouri, never been to St. Louis. And it was correct. It was right. I knew it was. And so I moved here the following August.
Wow. And that was a path that led you into the church as well, right?
Yeah.
Circuitously, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I'd had some experience with contemplative prayer and sort of the Desert Brothers and Sisters, and through a group I was a part of when I lived in the city called Hob, and through, I guess it might have some name recognition, the New Monastic Movement. Oh yeah. Is what I later learned it was. But my friend, who's now Father Adam Bucko, but I was a part of that group then, and that was my first introduction to Catholicism, besides my Nana and my next door neighbor when I was a very little one.
Are there particular, we mentioned Louise de Marillac, are there other holy men or women who inspire you or brought light to your journey?
Yeah, I hold tremendous respect, and I think a good amount of, there's so much resonance with Dorothy Day for me.
Sure.
And This is minor. I mean, I think because I don't have a, a succinct enough answer to that question. But I will say that I was struck just today by a magnet on the fridge downstairs, right? And it is a St. Ignatius quote, and it says, give me the courage to serve you, God, as you deserve, or help me to serve you as you deserve. And that to me is good. You know, it really underscores for me the idea that I am one among many. And though I've not ever participated in the exercises, the Ignatian exercises, I did find very illuminating some of our staff meetings here. When we had Father Matt, what's his last name?
Oh, the previous Father Matt,
yeah.
Matthew Baugh, yeah.
Matthew Baugh had introduced St. Ignatius as basically his litmus test for am I consoled or am I feeling in a state of disconsolation. And that, I like that as in the examine, just as general framing devices, I think are helpful, but yeah.
Well, Tess, you're gonna bring a little piece of this experience with you wherever you go, I hope, and please be connecting with us in your future endeavors as well.
I will. And I always want to ask you questions, Angela, too. I watch these videos and I think, oh, when do we get to flip the script? I know that's a special edition that's coming. I hope it is.
All right. Well, keep that under consideration. Thanks, Tess.
Yeah, it's been such a pleasure, though.
Thank you.